All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of Jon and Jim. We're with you for the next 3 hours, all the way until 6 p.m. David J. Madfriars is such a good source for Padres fans because of his knowledge of the system and the Padres themselves. He'll swing by at 5 p.m. We're getting you ready for tonight. It's Padres Rockies, round 2 from Denver. It just feels like the series you have to take advantage of if you're San Diego. And we'll start, obviously, there. Last night, this is a game the Padres lost a year ago. Maybe not every single time, but all the opportunities in the world. You're facing a bad starting pitcher. You can't cash in. You're getting brilliant pitching yourself from Cease, if you will.
I don't think there's a nickname for Dylan Cease.
Whatever.
Dylan.
Exactly.
That's all I got.
So you're getting this, he's got like this great, amazing outing. We can get into the specifics of it. Like one of the better outings in the history of Coors Field. Yet it's 1-1 in the 8th inning, 2 outs, nobody on. And the Padres rally and win. And now they've put themselves in a position where you got Michael King tonight, and you're playing this team that's historically bad. That's not cliche.
They've trailed in every single game this year. 23
consecutive games they've trailed in. Now, they're 5-18. The crowd last night, we talked about it, friends and family. There's no one there. The Nuggets are playing the Lakers in the postseason in the same city. Just nobody cares. This went from you got to win a series to after last night, there's no other option other than taking 3 out of 4 or more here. If you're the Padres, last night was great. It wasn't a perfect game. Dylan Cease was nearly perfect, but they won a game that a year ago, Jim, they may very well not have won.
Remember when the Padres, right before they left for Korea, traded for Dylan Cease?
Oh, I did. No, did they? Yes,
Wait,
I do.
That's who was pitching last night?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's that guy they traded for, right?
What? Wow.
Yeah, I remember. Why do you say it?
Because I feel like there was a little pushback.
Oh, are you going to do? You're going to play this game?
I'm going to play that game.
Darnay, are you listening?
I saw your reply, Darnay.
Right, like man that yells at clouds.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I actually have people, and I actually have the actual receipts.
I know, I do too.
And we had a lot of it on the wrap-up show. We've had a lot of it on Jon and Jim.
He's not an ace.
Dylan Cease, look at his ERA last year.
He's a 3.
He's a number 3.
Yep.
I can't believe that AJ Preller gave up so much. Gave up so much for Dylan Cease.
Only 2 years of control. Only. That's a lot.
That's the same thing. That's the same amount of control for Michael King.
They didn't even have Soto for 2 years, as it turned out.
They did it for a year and a half.
And a third.
Yeah. Well, guess what, Jon?
What?
Dylan Cease, I think he's an ace.
He's been amazing.
He's not. I think he's an ace. He's been an ace. He has been a frontline guy for years. This is not something new. This is not something that put him with Ruben Niebla. Look what's happened. Maybe Ruben Niebla helped him fix some things that he was having problems with last year, and I think that could be true 100% because Ruben Niebla feels like a pitching whisperer. But this is what they traded for. They traded for a frontline guy. They traded for a proven guy. They traded for a guy that is going to give you innings, going to give you 30-plus starts. He's going to strike out 200-plus guys. I give AJ Preller a lot of crap, and I think rightfully so at times. But this trade, if it continues down this path, and he's made other real good trades as well. I would say Musgrove's was a good trade.
I would say Tatis.
I would say
again,
Tatis
that was different circumstances.
Different circumstances. Yep. But in the moment that this team needed a big move this offseason and Preller pulled this one out, if it goes down the way I hope it goes down with Dylan Cease, where he continues to give this team a lot of starts that you saw last night going forward, you could say it's one of his better trades that he's ever made.
Right. You have to. What's hard with baseball, especially with pitching, is you never really know. There's so many factors.
So many.
And facing the Rockies at Coors, even though it's at Coors, this is a historically bad Rockies team. I mean, even their offense. Their offense is always good, even when they're bad, and their offense right now isn't good. So we're not going to judge it all based on one start at Coors, but it's not. And you mentioned something last night in the wrap-up show, and then I saw it in Kevin's article here today.
Oh, this amazing stat.
It is absurd. So you might hear this sometimes with left-handed relievers, their success against left-handed batters, right? Lefties can't hit lefties. They're specialists. They hit 080 for the season against this dominant left-handed reliever. Okay, well, you get a lefty. That's your job as a left-handed reliever. You face one batter. Historically, it's changed now with minimums, and you get the guy out. Well, that's your job. For someone to dominate right-handed hitters the way Dylan Cease has with the slider, right-handed hitters off Dylan Cease this year are 1 for 52.
Is that good?
Which I think is an 018 batting average. I want to say he's retired something like 48 or 49 consecutive right-handed hitters, or they're 0 for their last 48 or 49 against Dylan Cease. That's like multiple no-hitters essentially in there. So he's been unhittable. Like, that's not cliche.
No.
When you bat 1 for 52 off someone, you are essentially unhittable. That I couldn't believe that. When you said that last night, I couldn't believe that.
Me
He's been
neither.
that dominant.
When I heard it last night, I almost stopped my car. I was like,
Yep.
whoa, hold on.
Did I hear that right?
Given up
one hit?
only one hit to right-handed batters all year long.
Wow, in 5 starts.
And he didn't give up a hit last night because he only gave up one hit. And of course, that was to Charlie Blackmon.
Yep.
Duh. Guy that's been in a massive slump, has a double and scores a run.
Yep.
But for him to be doing what he's doing right now, this is what this team needed in a huge way with Yu Darvish. Not, pitching well and being on the IL.
Healthy, yeah.
And Musgrove kind of getting back into form after missing a lot of time last year. He hasn't been dominant. He's actually kind of been a little wobbly, and there's some questions there for sure, but he's been okay.
His last 2 starts, 6 innings, 3 runs, 7 innings, 3 runs. It's solid.
Solid.
Yep.
His last four of his last 5 starts, I think,
quality,
or 3 of his last 4 starts have been quality.
Yeah, 6+ innings.
Yeah. But Dylan Cease, when he's out there on the mound, that is turning into win day. That's turning into, you got to take advantage of when Dylan Cease is out there, and you got to pick up the win at any cost when he's out there. Because it feels like if your ace loses a game, it's like almost double, right? It just feels like it's more than just one loss, even though it is only one loss. It just feels different. And that's what Dylan Cease is turning into for this team. So for anybody out there that was on the fence about this trade, I really hope today you're not thinking that way. I really hope today you recognize that Dylan Cease is the guy. He has the stuff. He's the Padres ace as of this moment. And there's a lot of season left. I understand that. Things could still go sideways. I get it. All those things are true. But as of right now, from what you're seeing from Dylan Cease, I mean, that guy has been just exactly what they needed to start this year.
Where are the apologies? Because everyone makes us know when we say something inaccurate. We hear about it for forever. You said this about Robert Suarez in 2022. First of all, no, we didn't. And secondly, okay, so you're going to hold us to something, our opinions, by the way. We didn't say anything factually. You're going to hold us to our opinions 2 years later. You know who you are. You're right. And Darnay yesterday from NBC7 kind of joked about this idea that, Jim, nobody said that Dylan Cease wasn't an ace. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Here's what they said. They had a qualifier or a caveat. They said he's an ace of a bad team. So no. It's not as simple as that. When you finish second in Cy Young voting, he didn't do it because he pitched for a really bad team. Yeah. In fact, it's almost more of a credit to what he accomplished in 2022 to finish second in Cy Young voting. He's not a top 30 starter when healthy. He's a top 10 starter when healthy. And arguably, he's been as good of a starter as there's been in the National League this year. Now, again, it's early through 5 starts. So that's what he's capable of being, is a dominant starter. And that's what we've seen this year.
The one thing that Dylan Cease, you talked about when the trade happened was he's a guy that kind of reminds you a little bit of Blake Snell because he walks a lot of guys.
But he throws more innings.
But he throws more innings. But I'm just talking about the walks, right? Like, he walked. How many guys did he walk last year?
It was like 4.5 per every 9, right? 75, 80 walks.
He walked 79 batters in 177 innings. In the previous year, he walked 78 and 184. In the previous year before that, 68 and 165.
How many this year? It's 4 walks per every 9. They say starters should be at 3 walks or lower per every 9. So it's elevated, but he gets strikeouts. How many walks does he have this year?
11 strikeouts and 29 and 2/3 innings.
No, 11 walks.
11 walks.
11 and 29 and 2/3. So that's 3 walks per every 9 innings. You hit that threshold and you have the stuff that he has, you'll be dominant.
He has a .74 whip.
That's the key. I mean, all the base runners he's allowed are walks. You know what I mean? He doesn't allow anyone to get on base.
Right. It's only walks. It's,
right.
I mean,
which was Snell last year.
Right. So they losing Blake Snell. And I'm not saying losing Blake Snell was a big thing because we're seeing what he's doing in San Francisco. And
it was a big thing if he was going to pitch like last year.
Yeah, I stand by. I would have never given Blake Snell a contract ever. But losing Blake Snell's productivity was the issue. You just lost to Cy Young. You just lost a guy who it was win day every time he went on the mound. You knew when he goes out there, more often than not, you're going to get a win because of how dominant that pitcher was. And that was a big concern. How are they going to replace Blake Snell? How are they going to replace Juan Soto? How are they going to replace Josh Hader? Well, as of right now, they have boom check replaced Snell with Dylan Cease. Boom check.
What about Hader?
Boom check. They've replaced Hader with Robert Suarez, Bobby Suarez. Boom check. They have the same production almost that Jurickson Profar is giving you right now. The Juan Soto.
Boom check center field.
Boom check. Jackson Merrill has been a million times better than Trent Grisham. Boom check.
Yeah. Here's the thing. This is back to your point from 10 minutes ago about AJ Preller. This is completely deserved, what I'm about to say.
Oh, here we go.
We will kill him. We've said everything about his ability to do his job, which is basically put a top payroll team over the last 3 years in the postseason.
Or build a cohesive roster.
And it's been up and down. I'm going to say this right now about AJ Preller. He's done a really good job considering the circumstances with this roster. The circumstance being this: he's lowered payroll by nearly $100 million. And the Hader Suarez flop and the Snell Cease flop is masterclass stuff. I'm not saying they're going to win 99 games. I'm saying considering the circumstances, bad year last year, lower payroll, trade a star, and to get the productivity you've gotten at Dylan Cease, which was an amazing trade, and to have Robert Suarez step in like this. He leads baseball in saves. He's been virtually unhittable. Josh Hader's been awful for the Houston Astros. Like, how can AJ Preller not get credit there? He could have completely overpaid. I mean, a lot of GMs would have. Like, Snell, yeah, we need him. Oh, Hader, yeah, we need him. He didn't do it. He found ways to reinvent it. And not only has he gotten comparable production, you could argue he's gotten better production.
Now, again, 13-12 is 13-12.
Well, true. But again, that's where it goes back to they're coming off a year in which they're a 500 team with $100 million more in payroll. So they're not, you could argue they're better.
You could argue that for sure. There's already things that they're doing this year that are better than last year at this exact same time.
Exactly.
I think someone the other day that was trying to argue with me on social media that Dylan Cease sucked brought up
someone said he sucked.
Yeah, he said that. He's like, yeah, he sucked. Anyway, he brought up a tweet from the show from this moment last year, and like in the tweet it said Padres offense, continues to suck or something along those lines, right? Well, you can't say that about this year's team.
About their offense?
But their offense. So in that aspect, it's better than last year. The pitching, I have to go back to the bullpen and look at those numbers, but the bullpen has been great this season so far. The starting pitching has been a little up and down, but Dylan Cease has been that constant through every single start that he's made this year. But the record is 13-12, and that's why, going back to our initial point about this series, you got to take advantage. And last night, it wasn't pretty. It just wasn't. But Wadey got the big hit in the 8th inning. I know a lot of people were about to crush Mike Schilt if that didn't work for pinch hitting for Wadey there in the 8th. But it worked, and they got that run across the board. It was all they needed. They got another run. They won 3-1. And you pick up the win. It wasn't ugly. Like, I saw another person. We should have won by way more runs.
Who cares? It's so dumb. It's 162 games.
It doesn't matter. All that matters is you score more runs than the other team. And last night, it wasn't pretty. You're facing a guy on the mound that wasn't good. And you probably should have tagged him for more runs, but you didn't. But in the end, you picked up the win. That's all that matters. Don't complain about it.
Like, okay, here's what I'd say about Schilt, by the way, and his ability so far to manage this team, and where I'll give him a lot of credit, is his aggressiveness as a manager is putting the Padres in a position to score runs, and I'll explain. I'll give you an example from last night. Jurickson Profar with 2 outs in whatever inning the Padres scored first in, maybe the 3rd. He doesn't even bat if Schilt doesn't start the runners. If he doesn't start the runners, it's a double play. This has happened multiple times already this year. I can't even recall it happening a year ago. I'll be critical right now. Bob Melvin, he didn't start runners. He didn't. He wasn't aggressive on the bases at all. He has started runners all the time. He's staying out of double plays. Another example last night of staying out of double play. The next batter with 2 outs coming through. Now, I don't know who's a good conductor, Brent. I'm asking Brent a conductor question. Like, Mozart, is he a conductor? Or
Sure.
He's pulling strings. I'm telling you, he's pulling.
He's a composer.
Composer,
whatever.
conductor is, I think,
conductor
a train.
is just the guy that waves his hand.
Whatever. He's pulling the right strings. And I remember early on, people said, "How could you go to Tom Cosgrove there?" There's been very little of that. There's been very little of that on Mike Schilt. I mean, everyone thinks they can manage every Major League Baseball team. You're hearing less and less from that related to Mike Schilt. At least I am.
I would say, you got to work with what you're given. And when you're looking down that bench,
like, we got to run.
And and it's like, I need to do a pinch hitter here. Who do we got? We got Tyler Wadey.
Right.
We got Kyle Higashioka. We got
Zokar.
Well, Zokar was already in the game
last night. You got Eggy Rosario, or was he in the game? He was, because you didn't have Manny Machado.
We got Graham Pauley.
Yeah.
We got Matty Batten.
Right. So you don't have a lot of options.
You don't have a lot of options. Like, you're sitting there pretty much, whatever the saying is, you got to work with what you're given. And to his credit, he made a move that worked. Now, if it didn't work, they would be crushing him.
Which move are we talking about that if it didn't work? You're talking about Wadey?
Yeah, pinch hitting Tyler Wadey there.
So who was up?
I believe it was Eggy Rosario.
Yeah, no one's going to crush him. I mean, it's either going to work or it's not. It's not like you're pinch hitting for Juan Soto.
Well, it was a runner at third, less than 2 outs.
Okay.
And
Eggy
Rosario was 1 for 3 in the game.
No, it wasn't a runner at third with less than 2 outs.
Was it 2 outs?
2 outs. He came through the hit.
That's
it was
right.
a runner at second with 2 outs.
My bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking about something different.
It was a Campy double.
I was thinking about the Tatis triple in that moment.
That's exactly right.
That's right.
It was Campy double, Wadey single.
Yes. And
maybe 0-2.
No, I think he swung the first pitch.
I'm thinking Profar was 0-2 when they scored the first run.
But in that moment, a guy that Eggy Rosario, he swung the bat pretty nicely. You pinch hit it for a guy that's been struggling like Tyler Wade. Like, that's where the moment, and that's why I think people be like, "What are you doing? You just pinch hit for a guy who." And you tell me if I'm wrong. Was it a righty on the mound?
Well, I was about to say it had to be a platoon thing.
I think it might have been.
It had to be a left-right thing, a clear left-right thing. Presumably, it was, because you had a righty in Rosario, and then you used a lefty in Wade. So it was a righty on the mound, presumably.
Yeah. But anyway, my point is that Tyler Wade has been struggling.
Yeah, definitely.
And to put him in that position and pinch hit there, if he didn't come through, it'd be like, why are we using Tyler Wade still?
Right.
Maybe,
okay. So but that kind of proves the pulling the right string. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Oh, I would rather
even
be
the best hitters only coming through 40% of the time in that spot.
Like, they have an actual stat in baseball to determine your luck, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, batting average on balls in play.
Exactly. BABIP. Like, hey, this determines your luck. Hey, I put the ball in play. My batting average is great.
Could have hit the ball 200 miles an hour, but if it goes to someone, I'm out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the only thing you control is putting it over a wall.
Right. Or you hit a little 75-mile-an-hour blooper in the center field. It's a hit. And it's just as good as a 110-mile-an-hour rocket off the bat to left field.
That's right.
So Shilty so far has done.
Don't call him Schilt.
No, I can't ever call Mike Schilt. Has done a nice job so far. And there hasn't been one like egregious thing on field that I think I can point to that he has done.
People criticize bullpen usage like the first 4 days of the season, but nobody knows how to use their bullpen the first 4 days of the season. Yeah. All right, on the other side, remember we talked about Cameron Maybin and his criticism of the Padres fan base over the weekend? A message to Cameron Maybin on the other side. Plus, coming up later today, David J. Mad Friars on the Padres organization, this Padres team heading into Game 2 of the series against the Rockies. We've got 2 great giveaways for you today as well. We'll tell you about on the other side. We're just underway. It's Jon and Jim. All right, a message for former Padre Cameron Maben, who's been critical of the Padres fan base. That's next.
All right, this update is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Padres last night beat the Rockies in game one of their series, 3-1. Dylan Cease picked up the win, only giving up one hit and one run in the game. He was fantastic. Tyler Wadey came up with the big pinch hits, RBI single in the 8th inning to pick up the win for the Pods. Game 2 of that 4-game series tonight, 5:40 first pitch. Michael King on the mound for the Padres. NBA last night, Cavaliers beat the Magic 96-86 to have a 2-0 series lead there, but the Knicks, Sixers, and Nuggets Lakers games were wild as the Knicks came back in the final seconds to beat the Sixers, to take a 2-0 series lead there. And the Nuggets, Jamal Murray hit a game winner with the final seconds going off the buzzer there over Anthony Davis to pick up the win. Nuggets have a 2-0 series lead in that one. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
You're settling in at home, just command your Google or Alexa smart speaker, play AM 760, or use the free iHeartRadio app for seamless listening. It's like having your favorite station, like this one, right in your pocket. All right, Jon and Jim with you. David J. Matt Friars will join us at 5 p.m. Is LeBron James a crybaby? It's a rhetorical question. We'll hear from him coming up in 15 minutes. Cameron Maben, I don't know if you're listening, but regardless, I want to say what I'm going to say. Do you think he's listening?
Probably not.
Okay, that's right. So the whole conversation we had yesterday, oh, the Yankees have a better fan base than the Padres. This is Cameron Maben, right? Because shut up, nerd! Exactly. And as well, they have death threats towards,
They're more passionate.
They're so passionate. They boo. So it turns out this year there is
if you don't
not,
threaten to murder somebody over
then
your
you're a bad
team,
fan.
you don't care.
It turns out this year there is not a team with a higher percentage to capacity than the San Diego Padres in baseball, not the Yankees, not the Dodgers, The San Diego Padres lead baseball in percentage capacity over Atlanta and Philadelphia and Houston and the Red Sox and the Cubs and the Cardinals. The number one draw per capacity in terms of percentage of seats sold, it's basically 100% of seats sold. It's like 99%, is the San Diego Padres. So then what's the retort if you're Cameron Maybin? Yeah, they're going, but I don't understand that. I mean, they're showing up, and they're not showing up for a team that's 19-6. They're not showing up for a team that won the World Series last year. They're not showing up for a 26-time world champion. They're showing up for the San Diego Padres, is what they're doing. There's no other way to spin this. It just to further the point, to like put the nail in the coffin. There's no way to spin this. The Padres fan base is one of the better fan bases in baseball. Simple. End of sentence. It just is.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I think the thing is, I feel like any type of professional sports team, if the team invests in the on-field product or the on-court product, it will be rewarded. If you build it, they will come type of mentality. And that's what's happened here in San Diego, starting with Peter Seidler. Hopefully that continues after Peter Seidler here, because the second that this team does not invest into their on-field product, those numbers will go down, guarantee it. And that has nothing to do with how good a fan base is. Like if you look there, Oakland A's.
No, it does though.
Oakland A's, bottom of the list.
Well, yeah, obviously.
But does that mean they're a bad fan base?
Well, that's a whole nother conversation.
Well, that's my point.
That's an extreme example. What's going on with Oakland and their ownership and all that is an extreme example. But here's the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You say invest and you draw. Au contraire, Tampa, you invest and you draw. New York Mets, you invest and you draw.
But they don't invest.
Are you kidding? They win.
The Rays?
Tampa wins. They've won at a higher clip than the Padres have.
But the Rays, what I mean by invest is something that the average fan looks at more than I feel like they want to go to the ballpark to see Manny Machado for Fernando Tatis.
New York Mets. Perfect. Fine. Great. They spent $350 million on payroll last year. They didn't draw.
Well,
and they had the same record as the Padres.
Well, yeah, Mets fans are Mets fans.
But you know what I'm saying? I'm saying it's not as simple as saying, well, you invest or you win. It doesn't always work like that.
Not
Atlanta
always.
Braves historically haven't drawn.
It's not 100% guaranteed, but for most I think for a majority of fan bases, you would if you're talking to a Pittsburgh Pirate fan right now, I think a Pittsburgh Pirate fan would be like, man, if they just spent some money, I would go.
Let's use the Baltimore Orioles.
Baltimore Orioles. All right.
They didn't draw last year.
Okay.
They won 90 something games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pushed 100 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
If I found 2023 attendance, they would not be in the top 10, right? Let's see.
I think towards the end of the year, they started selling out games because they were good. But to start the year, fans were like, "What? I mean, you got to show me first. I mean, who are these guys on the field that are playing?"
Baltimore drew 1.9 million last year.
It's not great.
It's awful. The Padres drew 3.2 million. They won 15 fewer games. Again, this just furthers my point.
So you're saying that no matter what, the Padres fans are better?
I'm saying that the Padres have proved themselves. It's not about better or worse, but I think they have proven themselves. Yeah, I mean, I personally believe the Padres fans have shown a lot more than Orioles fans.
I think if you go back 10 years, you're getting the 1.9 draw here in San Diego.
But the Padres 10 years ago didn't have a 99 win team. The Orioles did a year ago.
They did not.
See,
I get it, but
know?
I'm talking about here. You invest, they come. I guarantee you, if the Orioles signed Juan Soto in the offseason, you don't think they would get an uptick in
not 3.2,
but they would get an uptick in
of course
in attendance.
So you're saying it's more about the marketing. I actually think it's a combination of all things. I mean, Arizona last year didn't have the greatest year until the postseason. They got to the World Series. They drew 1.9 million fans.
Well, San Diego does a really good job of obviously the ballpark, the marketing, the fact that they are the only game in town. There's nothing. There's nothing to stop them from going full-fledged marketing on every single aspect of San Diego because they can. There's nothing stopping them. There's nothing in their way. I would argue it's different in Baltimore and Arizona, and in Tampa. There's obviously a lot of things there.
Sure. So you're saying because of the
it's in a unique situation.
Lion's share that they have. They're the Portland Trailblazers of Portland in Oregon is the Padres in San Diego. Like they're the show in town. Portland doesn't have baseball.
Sure,
Portland doesn't have football.
I guess. I mean, like,
So you benefit from that.
Yeah, I think
This
you
is
do.
the only market in the country that of the big four, the only one they have is baseball.
Right.
Other than Oakland, but I'm not counting that.
They don't count.
I'm not counting that right now because of the circumstance. But hear me out one more. I'll give you one more example to disprove all your points. The Texas Rangers have all they've done is, listen to this, spend, ballpark, win a World Series. 2.5 million fans last year, 30K a night.
And it's my point, John. Who is in Texas and in Dallas that is more important and bigger than the Rangers?
Yeah, but that's not the end-all be-all either. Dodgers have drawn. Yankees have drawn. They're in big cities. They have lots of teams. There's a lot of, right? There's a lot going on in those cities.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they can draw more than the Texas Rangers.
The Dodgers are, I mean, it's LA and it's superstars and Shohei and Mookie.
Mm-hmm.
Texas wins. Texas won the World Series last year. But I'm telling you, dude, the second that a Dallas Cowboys story comes out, they become on this. They get put on the second page. Anything here in San Diego, it's Padres, number one.
True. And New York's a great baseball market, but it's not the only thing. When the Giants are playing, the Giants is a pretty big deal too.
Giants,
September historically,
not the Jets, but Giants. I think Yankees.
They're
NFL,
huge.
They're huge,
but the NFL is huger.
It's bigger.
I would argue. Dodgers are huge. NFL obviously doesn't have near the same interest, but like
Dodgers are probably one of the only other teams that you say like, if a major news story dropped about the LA Rams during the baseball season, it wouldn't really affect the Dodgers
completely
at all.
Completely.
But anywhere else, a major NFL story with a baseball team in that city, they become second fiddle in a second.
So
San Diego
all
doesn't
I'm trying
at
to
all.
say is I guess what I'm saying is this: we're not doing it. I'm telling people that don't even have played here. First of all, what you experienced in 2011 isn't today. Things can change. And secondly, don't disparage the Padres fan base. I don't think it's fair is my point. It shouldn't be disparaged. It's really, really, really good. I don't understand any of these like discrediting of the Padres fan base. It just doesn't make any sense. It can be disproven so easily.
No, the fan base has been great. But what I'm also saying is they need to continue to invest in the on-field product.
I agree with that.
More than I feel like almost any other team out there, because
they got to keep the thing going.
Have to keep the wheel spinning. If they don't, and they start selling off parts and trading away players, and this team goes back to a 70-win team every year, then that ballpark, John, is not going to look like it is right now.
Yes, but the last thing I'd say, the Baltimore Orioles last year, let's say they win 99 games, they have Juan Soto.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they trade for him at the deadline.
Yeah,
99 games. They go to the World Series, they lose, or ALCS, they lose. They trade Soto in the offseason. That would impact them at the gate.
Yeah.
It hasn't impacted the Padres.
Well, the Padres have multiple stars in their team.
But that's still pretty incredible. First ballot generational player traded away off an 82-win season.
I think a lot of Padres fans didn't appreciate Juan Soto and don't view Juan Soto as a guy that is what we view him as a generational talent.
They traded for him. They felt that way.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but we also know a lot of fans are like, good riddance, get out of here.
But I'm saying the day they acquired him.
The day they acquired him, it turned into like
Super Bowl 58.
Bigger.
So I'm saying like he did have a level of like, I mean, there was a period of time where it was a huge deal in San Diego that Juan Soto was on the team. Now maybe it wore out its welcome. And they didn't win last year.
But it also helps when you have multiple stars on your team.
Toddy.
When you have one star on your team, that's great. Like, look at the Angels. They have Mike Trout. He's a superstar Hall of Fame player.
There's another example.
Doesn't help them at all.
They had Trout and Ohtani. Now, they didn't win, but you want to talk about marketing. They marketed. I mean, they had Ohtani and they had Trout.
Well, they didn't do a good job because their ballpark's not great, and they're also in a market with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
So good luck.
On the other side, LeBron James, the Lakers aren't getting calls. The Lakers never get calls, nor does LeBron James. That's next. All right. Does LeBron James have a point or not after a heartbreaking Game 2 loss in Denver? That's next. $1,000 every day this week. Listen for the keyword and enter it at sportssd.com. Now you can hear Game 3, Lakers Nuggets, from the building formerly known as Staples Center on Thursday at 7 p.m. Speaking of Thursday, we have NFL Draft first round coverage beginning at 5.
Correct.
So you'll have 2 hours of first round NFL coverage from Fox Sports Radio.
Mm-hmm.
And then at 7, we'll take you to Game 3, which is Lakers Nuggets. Obviously, a must win for LA, now trailing 2-0. Heartbreaking ending. They led by as many as 20. The amazing thing, we'll hear from LeBron in a moment. The amazing thing is he's crying over something that really didn't have an impact on the back and forth waning moments where he had a chance to win the game for his team. He literally walks away from the podium based on something, a call they didn't get on replay not in the fourth quarter or not in the waning seconds, but in the third quarter.
That was not only that game, but also the Knicks Sixers game. Two of the more wildest finishes in playoff history.
But you wouldn't have thought about the replay if not for LeBron as it was difference.
And granted, I wasn't watching at that moment because I think the Padres were still on at the time, but this happened in the third quarter where D'Angelo Russell drove to the basket,
got hammered,
flipped up a layup, missed it, but got smacked across the face.
After they called the ball left his hand.
They called the foul. They reviewed it because the Nuggets said that, the ball was out of his hand when he got hit, so it shouldn't have been a foul. And that's what the refs deemed it as. And that was in the third quarter. And then everything.
How many calls are missed or how subjective this is? And I get it, there's a replay, and I thought it was a foul, but who cares? Over the course of 48 minutes, there are fouls that can be called or should be called or should not be called. It happens in every single game.
And the same thing happened in the Knicks-Sixers game where the Sixers were crying about it all last night about this should have been a foul and Nick Nurse was calling a timeout and the refs didn't give it to him and everything.
Yep.
Those are big time misses by the refs there. And that's understandable, I feel like, because that actually impacted the game in that very moment at the end of it, where Tyrese Maxey was getting held by Josh Hart, didn't call a foul. And then Nick Nurse was calling a timeout.
He didn't get it.
Didn't get the timeout.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand that point if like LeBron was on the Sixers and he actually had at the end of the game, he was talking about this. But LeBron here was, after he misses a wide open three to potentially get the Lakers a win, Jamal Murray goes down, hits the game winner over Anthony Davis during an 0-2 hole. LeBron decides to use his press conference to complain about a foul that wasn't a foul in the third quarter.
I don't understand what's going on in the replay center, to be honest. I think I said it this year or last year, whatever. D'Lo clearly gets hit in the face on a drive. What the f*** we have a replay center? If this is going to go, it doesn't make sense to me. It makes no sense to me. It bothers me. I'm sorry I didn't answer your question, but that's like. And then I just saw what happened with the Sixers Knicks game too. What are we doing?
But
this just leaves.
I mean, this is by the way, all sports we're complaining about it with baseball. And by the way, he may have a point. I tend to agree he had a point there, but guess what? Every single team has a gripe. Every single night there's something that could go your way. You got to get past that. And despite the third quarter missed foul call or reversal on replay, you had a chance to win the game. Like you literally, it was in your hands, LeBron.
You missed a wide open shot.
The greatest player, arguably in the history of the league, the greatest point getter in the history of playoff basketball in NBA history. I just don't see, again, if it's the last play of the game, if there's 0.9 seconds to play.
They call a foul, they reverse it. Yeah.
Okay. You know what? That's a big story.
Go off.
That's a big story, but that's not what happened.
Our buddy Alan Sliwa, man, looking at his timeline last night.
Oh, yeah, I know. I saw it.
Here's a rundown of Alan's timeline. He obviously does Lakers talk up in LA. Good friend of the show. Incredible half. D'Lo can't miss, and AD was literally perfect, which they were.
So that's sweet. They were up 20.
Yeah. Anthony Davis was incredible for 3 quarters, and D'Angelo Russell, I think he had like 7 threes, or maybe more than
6,
that.
I think.
Yeah, it was a huge number. Yeah, whatever it was.
Then you start seeing things starting to slip here. I feel like the Lakers just played 6 minutes without running a play. And these were the consecutive tweets that he had on his timeline. And then the final tweet, no effing way. That was the shot that Jamal Murray hit. Lakers they can't beat the Nuggets. When you have a team's number, you have a team's number. And that's right now the Nuggets with the Lakers.
Is it 10 straight postseason?
10 straight postseason.
Yeah. But with regular season, it gets even like worse. Like
I think so.
It's very bad.
And they had that game 1. They had huge leads in games 1 and game 2. When they lose this series, I think Charles Barkley said it perfectly last night. No other team in basketball blames other people more than the Lakers. It's not the player's fault, it's other people's fault, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's this guy's fault. I'm going to throw that guy under the bus. I'm going to throw that guy under the bus. Oh, I'm going to throw our coach under the bus. I'm going to throw Pelinka under the bus, right? It's never, hey, they're not good. They're not as good as the other team. And, that's the end of discussion. It's always someone else's fault. It's always D'Angelo Russell, throw him under the bus. Darvin Ham, throw him under the bus.
I mean, at the end of the day,
like LeBron, you missed a shot, bro.
Well, and the Nuggets didn't. You didn't make a play in crunch time. They did. I mean, that's a big time moment, obviously. And LeBron had that chance, and he's obviously come through before. Yeah. But to me, I'm not summarizing that game based on a third quarter reversal of a replay, whether you think it's right or not.
Now, I guess maybe, and I haven't listened to any talking head shows today, but watching that play unfold, the final moments of that game, LeBron had, I think, 10 or 11 seconds on the shot clock when he had a wide open chance at a 3.
Yeah, I think you take it because you're wide open.
There's like 12 seconds left in the game.
Yeah.
When you miss that.
Do you take it?
I think you take it.
Or do you? Okay.
Yeah, I would just be 0 open. I mean, I would. I'm trusting LeBron's shots, and the shot selection was fine.
Yeah, because you're wide open.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think I turned down I'd rather take the good shot than burn the clock there. There's no guarantee I win if I'm burning that clock.
But it's a tie game still.
I know, but they couldn't have burned it all the way. It still would have been 7?
5 or 6 seconds,
which is more than enough.
True.
We've seen a lot crazier thing. But the point's valid. They could have waited on it. you can't be more open than he was.
Yeah, I mean, if you're literally given that a wide open of shot, you
When you're
take
LeBron
the
James,
shot.
I think you have to take it.
But still missed it, and Jamal Murray hit it, and Jamal Murray had a horrible game last night, and he's the game
Not
winner.
there, yeah.
Crazy.
All right, hour 2 is on the other side. We'll get to the wrap. Also coming up next hour, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see a Seals playoff game, Seals lacrosse playoff game this Saturday at Pechanga. Tickets and info at sealslax.com. We also have New Kids on the Block tickets we're going to give away between now and 6 p.m. But hour 2 of Jon and Jim, Trainwreck Radio, David J. from Mad Friars at 5 p.m. And the wrap is next on Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Padres game 2 of their 4-game series with the Colorado Rockies tonight, 5:40 first pitch. Michael King on the mound for the Padres. And NBA action continues tonight. First up, Suns take on the Timberwolves. Timberwolves have a 1-0 series lead. Their tip-off is at 4:30. 5:30 tip-off between the Bucks and the Pacers. Milwaukee has a 1-0 series lead in that one. And Clippers and Mavericks tip-off tonight at 7 p.m. Kawhi Leonard still a game-time decision there. Clippers have a 1-0 series lead in that one. And Thursday is game 3 between the Lakers and the Nuggets. Nuggets have a 2-0 series lead there. 7 p.m. tip-off. You can listen to that game right here on San Diego Sports 760 following our coverage of the NFL Draft. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. We are with you until 6 p.m. I want to let our listeners know that we're giving away Seals playoff tickets this hour. That's Saturday night, so we have those tickets to give away. And between now and 6 p.m., why don't we give away a pair of tickets to see New Kids on the Block with Paula Abdul?
New Kids on the Block.
No, that's not them.
Oh.
But that's their name. You weren't around during this phase, right?
Nope, I was not,
No,
John.
he wasn't.
I was not.
Do you know who they are?
I've heard the name before, yeah.
Do you know who Paula Abdul is?
I know Paula Abdul. She was the judge on American Idol, right?
That's exactly right. That's what she's famous for.
Lakers
exactly
girl, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, I know. Dancer?
Yes, that's what she's famous for.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we have those giveaways, and we'll do that coming up between now and 6 p.m.
Is
Before
she
we
gonna
get to
have
the
the
wrap,
cartoon cat with her?
What?
from that video?
Yeah, see, John knows what I'm
Yeah, I
talking
do
about.
know that. Before we get to the wrap, I want to read a couple of texts, okay, on this whole fan base, selling tickets, what's good, how do you gauge it? Again, it's subjective. There's not one. It's not like you take a test and you get a 95 and you get an A, and you get an 85, you get a B. You can argue whether this fan base is better than another. There's no perfect answer. I can't guarantee that the Royals have a better fan base than the Brewers or vice versa, right? But 760 says this. Viejas Arena in Petco Park are sold out every night because it's fun, in all caps, and the fans do a lot to make it fun, but it starts and ends with the team. If the team starts to suck, the atmosphere changes. Everyone forgets Qualcomm was sold out when the Chargers were good. Here's the thing with that I would say. They're all unique into themselves. NFL is a lot different than Major League Baseball with the 81 dates. Viejas is a great example. There's not a lot of college basketball teams that draw like the Aztecs do, specifically in the West. USC doesn't draw like that. UCLA doesn't draw like that. Stanford and Cal can't touch it. There's 2 examples of programs that have these unbelievable fan bases in the West, maybe 3. Arizona, San Diego State, Gonzaga. Everyone else can't hold a candle to San Diego State. But when they're all different is my point. NFL fan bases are different than Major League Baseball fan bases. It's hard for me to compare the Chargers fan base to the Padres fan base. They're just completely different to me.
The thing about this town is they will support you like no other if you are a winner. They just will. If you are striving, if you invest like the Padres have, they will support you through and through, because if you give back to them, they'll give back to you. That's just how this town is. I feel like you could say that about a lot of places.
No, I don't think you can. That's my point. I don't think you can. How many other teams in baseball could have gone 82-80 last year and drawn 3.2 million fans? Oh, wait, 3?
Well,
2?
But here's the thing, though, John. The 82-80, I get it, but you still could go and watch Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, Joe Musgrove, Blake Snell.
They were 13 games under 500.
I get that. I understand that. but star power means something.
Yeah, but you're saying this team will support a winner.
They will support
See,
a winner.
that's a different conversation. But they'll also support a team that doesn't win, is my point.
They'll support
a team that tries.
Yes, I think they'll support that. And if they continue to lose, you're going to see less and less support.
Well, sure. I mean, eventually that's going to right. You can't not win.
And also, you gotta know too. Last year, they sold out so many games before this team went down in the slide because of all of the ticket sales, pre-sales, the season ticket holders.
But same thing this year.
Same thing
and
this
they're
year.
coming off an 82-80 season and trading Juan Soto.
Well, they didn't get rid of Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., Blake Snell, or not, excuse me,
I
John
know,
Musgrove.
but are you saying that as long as they have those players, it'll hold true? As in, if it's 82-80 this year,
No, I think
we don't know. We don't
no,
know.
I think if it's 82-80 this year again, it could go down.
It could. Yeah, it could.
But if this town gets a winner, or if they have a franchise that really tries, they support it. That's just how it is. I think if you look up in maybe like the Bay Area, if the Giants had a couple more superstars, maybe they would draw better.
There was a period of time, obviously, that drew as well as anyone in baseball. No, I understand what you're saying. I guess my last point on it, we get
superstars sell tickets. That's
not everywhere. They just don't.
Multiple. If you had multiple they've had Juan Soto, Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr. on the Baltimore Orioles. I guarantee you they'd have a better.
Well, they
record.
would have a better attendance, but I guarantee you they wouldn't draw 3.2 million fans. You don't go from 1.9 to 3.2 million fans. They won 100 games last year. I mean, star power matters, but the Mets have paid for free agents. So have the Texas Rangers.
Well, then good job, Eric Grupner. Good job, Petco Park.
That's good job,
sells.
Padres fans.
You also have to have a good facility. You have to have good marketing. You have to have good giveaways. You have to have good merchandise sales.
And you also have
those
to have,
matter.
I know, but you also have to have good fans.
But those things all matter, John. If those weren't here, those fans would not be there.
Yeah, but that's discrediting the fan base.
I'm not trying to discredit the fan base. I'm just telling you the truth, and it's real.
But I'm telling you the truth. The Texas Rangers had a higher have
and their
stars.
Ballpark sucks, and I'm sure their marketing's not great.
Sucks.
Yeah.
They have a 2-year-old ballpark. It's like the newest facility in the sport. Who's ever said their ballpark sucks?
You did.
When?
I said it opened.
When it looks like a trash can?
Yes.
You had a whole segment on that. That doesn't mean their ballpark sucks because it looks like a trash can.
But
People
it
don't go there.
Suck.
How do you know? You've never been there.
I've seen it. Has anybody said, man, I can't wait to go to the Texas Rangers ballpark?
I think so. I don't think we're searching social media for like Arlington ballpark experiences.
How many people say I would love to go to
calls
Petco?
on this 877-767-4760.
Petco sells. Why do you think they invested so much on Gallagher
You're
Square?
kind of making a point that it's everything else, but it's not the fans.
No. I'm saying that because they're doing this stuff, okay, Gallagher Square, Petco Park, all the amenities, all the renovations they've done over the years, all right, the giveaways, Eric Grupner, fantastic job. How many times have I praised the giveaways the last couple seasons, all right? The fans are going to go to see all of it. And if those things weren't there, do you think fans are like, hey, let's go to whatever?
I disagree because I don't think Gallagher Square's renovation has anything to do with one personal draw this year because I saw them last year and I think they would have drawn this year.
I think Gallagher Square plays into families going there and giving them other things to do.
Agree, but they already had Gallagher Square before the renovation.
Well,
they
drew
as high as anyone. All right, let's go to the phones here on this if you want to weigh in. 877-767-4760. I feel like Tim may agree with me. Tim, you're on with Jon and Jim. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, gentlemen, I get you guys confused. John, you're the one that's saying it's a testament to the fans, right?
Correct.
You are correct 100%, sir. 150% if there was such a thing.
All right, so go on. And you say it because...
And the reasoning...
It's because of this town, San Diego. They love baseball. They love the Padres. And every town has 2 or 3 stars, every city. Trout, whatever, go anywhere. It's because the Padres fans love this team. Simple, plain and simple. That's it.
So then, okay, thanks for the call, Tim. But then
you got a question? Oh, you could ask the question.
Okay, I get it. I'm not trying to say the fans are bad.
No,
Your fans are great.
And I've given you 10 outs. I'm just telling you what you're saying it the way I'm perceiving it. Because it seems like you're leaning on. Well, I say they marketed it well too, and I agree.
I'm saying that because of what they've done, as not maybe the on-field stuff, And winning does help.
Mhm.
Winning helps a lot, right? Going to the NLCS, like that makes a difference.
Definitely.
Okay. Having Manny Machado on your team, having Fernando Tatis Jr. on your team, having Joe Musgrove on your team.
All is good.
It all helps, all right? Also, having a great ballpark, having a great amenities,
Completely
having great giveaways, being in literally the perfect city in the world, it feels like, as far as weather goes and everything.
No, I agree.
That all makes a difference.
I agree.
But then my point is like, then what happened 10 years ago? Where are the fans then?
Well, there's a lot of dynamics at play 10 years ago.
And my point is because of everything that's happened is the fans are now rewarding this franchise for investing the things that the fans wanted to see.
Right, but not necessarily for winning is my point. Investing is different than winning. You were saying just 5 minutes ago, this town loves a winner. Every American city loves a winner.
Yeah, and this team has won recently. It's not like it's not like they haven't
they've also
won.
lost recently. 2021 and 2023 are recent.
They have. And the last 2 years have been the biggest up and down roller coaster
It
ever.
has. It absolutely
From the
has.
highest of the high of the NLCS to not the lowest of the low,
No.
but you know,
Felt like it.
It felt like
with
it
the
because the expectations were so high. But you know, I'm telling you, if from my perspective, you know,
yeah, I know. I
that
see
if you know, I'm just saying, like, fans aren't gonna support and go to games and sell out Petco Park if the team doesn't invest as much as they've had.
Right. If they have the Royals roster, they're not going to draw 3.2
and
million fans.
they don't upgrade Petco Park. They don't have great giveaways. You know, because there was a time here that the giveaways sucked.
And that's fair. But just hear me out for 1 second. We'll go back to the phones, 877-767-4760. You would admit there are other teams with good giveaways. They're not the only team. There's teams that do 10, 12 bobblehead nights.
Yeah.
There's teams that have 10, 12 fireworks nights. There's, you know, so yes, I agree. I think they do a great job with promotion and giveaways, but they're not the only example of teams that do that. I'm sure there's some that are bad, Oakland, and some that are very good. I don't know who it is. But again, the Padres kind of cut through because there's other teams with good promotions that aren't drawing near as well as the Padres. And the Anaheim point is again, crowded marketplace. Haven't won, but man, to have Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani on the same team, if Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani were on this team over the last 7 years, the Padres would have drawn routinely 1 million plus fans more per year than the Angels. I'm guessing
because they're the only game in town. They're the only game in town, and when they were also the only game in town, I was there on Wednesday afternoons when they had 15,000 people.
Yeah, the 17, 18 range,
and now on Wednesday afternoons they get 38.
Yeah, but. I'm with you, and the investment's the reason why. Not solely the winning. The investment is
That's what I've been saying.
No. You said this town likes a winner.
They do like a winner.
All right, 877-767-4760.
But it's all of it.
I agree it's all of it. Let's go to Dave. Dave, you're on with Jon and Jim. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, hey, John, first of all, belated congratulations on moving forward with Aztec football.
Thanks, Dave. Why didn't you call yesterday? No, I'm kidding. Thank you.
Dave was a little bit occupied with at the dentist, so
wow.
Dave couldn't talk.
Okay. Oh, good. Well, thanks for calling in, and thank you for saying that.
But nonetheless, heartfelt congratulations to you. Looking forward to many good years from that dulcet tone voice of yours. So,
I appreciate that.
Having said, there you go, that a boy. So having said that, all points are valid, but I still think that, as Jim pointed out, the overarching feeling in this town really took off for the Padres when it was believed that they were going to be a legitimate contender. And that accumulated over the last several seasons. They're living off that right now. Of course, with all of the side attractions that you have at Petco, what this franchise has successfully done here is that they've recognized the market for what it is and understand clearly that there's a lot of casual fans out there that normally wouldn't go to a baseball game, but might with all of the other side attractions that Petco has to offer. So it's all good, but that's very fragile too. And yeah, I think we have to recognize that, and I've lived it here and I've watched this franchise go up and down. As soon as we hit a real rut, which, you know, you never know when, a lot of this can evaporate overnight.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate the call. Hope your teeth are feeling better.
Kwan on the chat, on YouTube chat, says, look at Tampa. They make the playoffs yearly, but have no fan base. The thing with Tampa, their facilities suck. They don't spend any significant money on star players. And for that right there, that takes away a lot of the casual fan. A lot. When you don't have a good facility to take your family to, and when you don't have any star players to bring in the casual fan, you're going to get a situation where it's like, why do I want to go to that? Who am I going to see there? The Padres have done a great job of investing in the team with superstar players to bring in those casual fans that want to go see Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. play, right? You're going to have the hardcore fan regardless of those two guys are on the team or not. And then you couple that with having such a great ballpark like Petco and the amenities and then the giveaways and all that stuff. It creates all the gaps that are left. The casual fan fills. And when those things go away, my point is you're probably going to see those things go down too.
And everywhere.
If
the Yankees had a 74-win team, it's been a while.
Without Aaron Judge or...
Even with them, they're not drawing the same numbers. If the LA Dodgers... Now, we actually did this experiment on the wrap-up show at some point. We went back 10, 12 years and found the last Dodger team that was like 82-80. But the point is they'd all drop to some extent. It's just, I mean, again, we're kind of arguing over whatever semantics, I guess, at this point. But it's like, yeah, I'm with you on Tampa, but there's also like the Houston Astros that are like multi-time recent World Series winners, and they don't draw as well as the Padres. And there's the New York Mets outspending the Padres in the largest city in the country. They don't draw near as well as I mean, there's so many examples I could give. We can't just say everyone's done it. Everyone else doesn't have what the Padres are providing. Like I don't know if that's accurate. Or we could just say Padres fans have stepped up. And by the way, I would just say this, like my last point on this, because, we hear this so often, like, oh, San Diego or Southern California or the West doesn't have the same type of fans as the East. You've heard that your whole life, right? Fans in the West aren't like fans in the East. They're not passionate. They don't show up. Look at the college football. Turn on a Stanford game. Turn on a Penn State game. It looks different, right? Well, all I can say is the perspective of San Diego. And all I can look at is like Viejas Arena. And they have one. And they have invested. And the building is filled every single night. And I look at Petco Park. In recent history, I understand. It wasn't that case 20 years ago, but the NFL was here 20 years ago. But you look at recent history, and it has not been the best franchise in baseball in on-field success, but they've drawn. Mm-hmm. So, I feel like San Diego gets an unfair rap. I mean, again, I'm preaching to the choir, San Diegans. And the West in general gets this unfair rap that, they're not as passionate. They're not as loyal. They don't support the same way. I don't think it's accurate. I just don't, specifically in San Diego right now. I just don't see it. If someone can poke holes in it or make a legitimate, valid reason why X city is better than this city with sports fandom, okay, try it. But I just don't. To make an example, like San Diego is not good in terms of a sports town, and this is why. I don't know. That's not what I've experienced.
San Diego's a baseball town. That's what it is now. It's turned into a baseball town. Before that, it was a football town with the Chargers, but now that the Padres have taken over the number one spot there, and in most other cities, you have multiple things, right? Philadelphia, you have Phillies and Eagles and Sixers and Flyers and everything like that. So there might be more fans because maybe not everyone likes baseball here. Maybe a lot of people aren't Padres fans here. When you only get one option variety,
right?
Or if you go to Baskin Robbins, they only give you one flavor to choose from.
That'll probably be their top selling flavor,
probably.
Yeah.
But when you go to Baskin Robbins and they give you 10 different flavors, then you're probably not going to get the same amount of pull that you get from just having one flavor, and that's the only flavor you can choose from.
That's a good point.
So that's why it's it's always going to be different. It's always going to be viewed differently because there's only one option here in San Diego, and everywhere else predominantly there's multiple. And so the Padres do a great job of making sure they maximize that,
benefit from that,
and they benefit from that. That they're the number one team in town and they're the only team in town. So they use every single resource to make sure they cultivate every single person that wants that sports fix to them.
Yeah, just a couple of texts, and then we can get to the wrap on the other side. Like 858 says, you guys are forgetting one variable, the Chargers leaving, except we're not. I mean, we've talked about it a million times over the years, and we've said it a million times today. 619 says there are multiple factors. The Padres have invested in the on-field product. fostered goodwill with the community under Peter Seidler. I think that's a great point. But it's also about ballpark experience in the surrounding neighborhood. You have to have that to attract the casuals. I travel for work, and most ballparks I've visited don't compare to Petco.
They don't. Petco's amazing.
No doubt. There's no doubt about it. But I mean, again, I don't think that's the only. Petco was amazing when they didn't draw.
I know.
To everyone's point, like Petco was amazing when they didn't draw.
Yeah,
and it's still amazing, and now they draw.
It's not the main seller. It's the on-field product. It's the players. It's the marketing of it. I mean, every single day when I watch my television, I get 50,000 Padres ads. That's all I get on my television right now because I've streamed.
You're saying YouTube TV and stuff.
YouTube TV,
YouTube also.
Amazon Prime that I've been recently on a lot.
Wrap-up show. I see ads constantly.
It's just insane because what they do is they have, that like geotagging where they just make sure that
where you are.
Anybody in San Diego gets Padres ads all the time.
100%.
I love this one. This is my favorite text. Every time someone texts us this, I love it. 619 number. You guys are not from San Diego. We go to Petco Park to drink, eat, and smoke out. We did the same thing for the Chargers. It was all about tailgating.
Oh, maybe that's why they're not here anymore.
Thank you for explaining how this works.
I thought I was an
someone
idiot.
could just explain to us how sports works in San Diego. Thank you.
Oh, I forgot I wasn't from San Diego. I forgot that I wasn't born here.
No, your mom. I need to talk to your mom.
Blame her. Yeah.
I can't. How selfish.
You know what's also crazy is that like 90% of the people in media in this town aren't from San Diego.
And you know what's also crazy is a lot of people that live in San Diego weren't born in San Diego.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's true.
That's crazy.
On the other side, we will get to the wrap. Plus, later this hour, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see Seals Lacrosse, a playoff game this Saturday at Pechanga Arena. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, we're going to get to the wrap on the other side. Plus, your chance this hour to win a 4-pack of tickets to see Seals Lacrosse at Pechanga this weekend. Stay with us.
All right, this update is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Padres Rockies game 2 of their 4-game series tonight at not Petco Park in Colorado. You idiot. 5:40 first pitch. Michael King on the mound for the Padres tonight. In NBA action, round 1 continues. We have starting up in a couple minutes here. Suns and Timberwolves. Game 2 of that series. Timberwolves looking for a 2-0 series lead. Bucks Pacers 5:30 tip off in Milwaukee. Milwaukee has a 1-0 series lead there. And the Clippers and Mavericks game 2 of their series tonight at Crypto, 7 p.m. tip off time. Kawhi Leonard is a game time decision for that game. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
All right, this hour, actually coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll let you know how to win a free 4-pack of tickets to see the Seals Lacrosse team host a playoff game this Saturday. Tickets and info at sealslax.com. That's at Pechanga. If you've never been, trust us, we've both been. It is a really, really enjoyable family experience. So we'll give away those tickets coming up later this hour. The next hour, your chance to see New Kids on the Block with Paula Abdul. We'll give those away in the 5 o'clock hour. Right now, let's get to this, though.
Is LeBron a sore loser?
Is the sky blue?
True.
Is grass green?
Right.
I don't think he's a sore loser. I think it's hard for him to grasp losing. Because
Isn't that what a sore loser
That's
is?
kind of sore loser.
I guess.
Yeah.
Because he feels like he makes all the right plays.
Yep.
He never makes a mistake.
Everything revolves around him, it feels like.
And that when his teams lose, it's not his fault. So I guess, yeah, sore loser. If that's the definition of it, then yeah, he's a sore loser.
I do think that he is. And it's not honestly to say that's like a defining characteristic. But when you win the way he's won, and when you play the way you play, I mean, there's no arguing. He's one of the great players to ever play. Like, you're not arguing that. And he's a champion. He's won a lot. But the truth is, it does feel like, and I kind of understand it because the world does revolve around him. It feels like when you hear from him, the world revolves around him. So in that capacity, and again, I get it. If I was in his shoes, I'd probably feel the same way or do the same thing. So I think by definition, he probably is.
Yeah. I think he is. It'd be one thing if like last night was just like some isolated incident.
Sure.
But he seems, how many times this year when they lost, did he just walk off the court before the game was even over? He did that like 4 or 5 times this year to where the game wasn't even done, but they were getting blown out. And he just left and went in the locker room because they were losing and he was mad.
Well, it's never LeBron's fault.
Right.
In
third quarter replay.
In
review.
this point of his career, it's never his fault because he has said publicly, I always make the right play. I always make the right pass. I always make the right play. And so in his mind,
you should hang out with Angel Hernandez.
He always makes the right play, always the right shot. And if it doesn't go in, he's not going to blame himself because he's like, I did the right thing. So there's someone else's fault. Someone else messed up somewhere.
And what's interesting here is, I don't know if he's come to this realization or not. I did a while ago. He's never going to win another championship. I don't know if you think that when you're a champion. He's a true champion.
No.
But he's never going to win another championship. So if you don't come to that realization, it's going to be a bit of a tough end. I mean, he's not winning another championship, right? Is he? No.
I don't think he is unless he gets off the Lakers.
And if he does, I mean,
goes another super team.
Maybe. It just seems very unlikely.
And to have his last championship be
COVID.
A championship that no one's going to really remember.
And the one before that would be Cleveland.
That was a big one.
Yeah, that was a huge one.
That was kind of a big one.
Next question.
We know who the first quarterback's going to be. Who will be the second quarterback drafted on Thursday during the NFL draft?
I'm going to say, I think last week I was talking about Jaden Daniels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you have a good shot at being correct.
I think it's going to be Jaden Daniels.
Not
Drake May.
No. Not JJ McCarthy.
If JJ McCarthy's the number 2 quarterback taken in this draft,
something's wrong.
Something is seriously wrong.
I mean, Jim Harbaugh traded up. I think it'll be Jaden Daniels over Drake May, and I think he'll go second overall. I think you're going to see May, Daniels, and Williams go like, are they going to be the top 3 picks? The 3 of the top 4 picks? I guess it depends on who's drafting from those positions on that day, but you could make an argument those are the top 3 picks, couldn't you?
I would bet. I'm not going to bet again. I'm not going to bet that will happen. No,
okay.
I think there's going to be a trade.
Yeah, it could be.
I think either
the New England number 3 already.
I think New England either moves back or Washington moves back. Maybe like a spot or 2.
The Commanders claim they're not moving off the number 2 spot. They said that yesterday.
Okay, well, they already know that they're going to pick that.
Yep.
I think the first 2 picks will be quarterbacks, but after that, it's wide open, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Next question.
Who's more likely to win the series, the Sixers or the Lakers?
The Sixers, I think, because those have been. Now, the Lakers-Nuggets games have been close.
They've been good.
Game 1 was close yesterday. Couldn't get closer than that. But the Sixers should have won last night. Like the
game was over.
It was over.
Did you hear the local broadcast? They said the game was over. Like, we're going back down I-95 even. Oh, just kidding.
Well, in a way, for the Knicks, it was like they were on the opposite end of. You remember that Reggie Miller game when the Pacers were,
everyone does.
Up by, what
8
was it, like
9,
7 or whatever, with like 13 seconds left, and they,
Three
he
threes.
sold the inbounds and everything.
Yep.
It was pretty much their version of that Reggie Miller game, only they were on the winning end of it.
Both are pretty deflating.
It was like 8 points in like 7 seconds. They just did last night.
Both teams are done, is my guess. Now, the one thing I would say that gives Philadelphia a shot over LA is the Nuggets are arguably the best team in the NBA. The Knicks are not arguably the best team in the NBA. So that gives the Sixers more wiggle room. You're not taking on a champion in the Knicks. The Lakers are taking a champion in the Nuggets. So I think the Sixers have more of a possibility of it occurring because the Knicks aren't the best team in the league like the Nuggets may be, but I don't see it. Sixers have never won a series down 0-2. I just don't see it.
You got a double bang from Mike Breen last night.
Boom check.
Only his 6th double bang ever.
Oh, you read the game notes, the Mike Breen game notes before the game? Next
What?
question.
Do you even know what I'm saying?
Yes, bang. Downtown.
Double bang.
Great.
A double bang
Double
from Mike
banger.
Breen. That never happens.
It happens 5 other times, apparently.
Well, that's not a lot.
It's not.
Compared
He's
to how
been
many
doing it
games
for
he's
25
called.
years. Yeah.
6th time, a double bang.
You want to know why? Because he's
an-
the local broadcaster for the New York Knicks for 20 years.
Yeah, but still, it was an incredible shot. And the moment deserved a double bang.
Probably. Next question.
Could the Padres win the NL West?
Yeah, I can't answer this question until like August.
No. Could they win the NL West? Not will they?
Yeah, I could go to 7-Eleven and get a scratch off, and I could win $50,000.
So you're saying it's a 1 in 100? That's obviously 1 in a million, what you just said. But
I'm saying anything could happen. But at this moment in time, I can't say. Yeah, it could happen. Yes, it could happen.
Oh, so you think the Padres are going to win the division?
Okay, you know what?
No, I'm kidding. Yes, of course they could. Of course they could win the division. Is it unlikely? Yes, I find it to be unlikely. Is it extremely unlikely? Depends your definition of extremely, but it's absolutely unlikely that the Padres win the division. And it's not a knock on San Diego.
No.
It's more about just the track record of the Dodgers for a decade plus. And they haven't won fewer than, we did this lookup, it was 96
versus 96 games, yeah.
They haven't won fewer than 96 in about a decade. So you're asking yourself this question. Do you see a Padres team that's capable of winning 97 plus games? They've never won more than 98 ever. So is this the team that wins 97? And is LA the team that wins 96 or fewer? And I don't know. LA hasn't been great, but as you said on the wrap-up show, we all know this. They can go 22-1 and typically do every year.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's in their DNA. They have where at some point in this season, the Dodgers will become unbeatable and they'll go on this crazy stretch and they'll be, 7 games over 500. And then 3 weeks later, they're 22 games over 500.
Right, it's
You're
crazy.
like, what the hell?
Right.
So at this moment in time, it's nice to see that they haven't already pulled away from the pack. But again, to your point about, do you envision the Padres winning 96 games this year? I don't. I would be happy with 86 wins, honestly, because I think that might get you in the postseason. But the longer this goes, and we're not even finished with the first month of the year yet. But again, if we are at the end of July, maybe the start of August, and they're only separated by a handful of games, then you'll start talking more and more about, wait, is this a possibility?
You think it real quick, because we got to get ready for Trainwreck Radio. You think a 1 in 10 chance is too high of a percentage or too low? The Padres have a 1 in 10 chance to win the division. Yes or no? Worse or better?
Right now?
Yeah, what you feel.
I would say worse.
Fangraphs, again, which has been proven wrong, right?
Yeah.
The Zips projections.
Yeah.
Gives the Padres a 12.8% chance of winning the division. By the way, they also give the Diamondbacks an 11.2% chance. They only give the Dodgers a 68% chance.
Only 68%.
But I mean, the way you would have thought about it this offseason when they spent $2 billion, you would have thought it was a 99.9% chance, even though Dan Szymborski said that's not the case.
True.
Heading into the year. All right, call right now if you want a free 4-pack of tickets to see the San Diego Seals this Saturday at Pechanga. It's a playoff game. Tickets are available, by the way, at sealslax.com. Here's the number to call if you want those 4 free tickets. Great family 4-pack. It's a great experience for families. The number to call is 877-767-4760. First 2 callers will be our contestants for trivia. You need to call right now. First 2 callers will be our contestants. A free 4-pack of tickets to see the Seals this weekend. 877-767-4760. Trainwreck Radio next. All right, Trainwreck Radio on the other side. We need someone to play Nathan for a free 4-pack of tickets to see the San Diego Seals this weekend at Pechanga. We have a family 4-pack of tickets. If you want to play to win those tickets, play trivia, call 877-767-4760. We need contestant number 2 to play Nathan. If you want a free 4-pack of tickets to see Seals lacrosse this weekend at Pechanga, call 877-767-4760. Do it now. That's next. The San Diego Seals and play Nathan in trivia. It's call right now 877-767-4760. This is great for families. If you've never seen Seals Lacrosse live, we have. It's awesome. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's high scoring. It's physical. They fight. I mean, it's kind of interesting.
They fight.
I mean, it has a lot of fighting.
It's the playoffs too. So
It's the playoffs.
big time.
Everyone makes a run. I don't know if they say that or not. 877-767-4760 if you want a chance to win that free 4-pack of tickets. Great for families. It's got to be a couple $100 value. So call right now, and people are calling right now if you want to play Nathan for a chance to win those tickets. Padres are playing tonight, Jim. Did you realize that? Michael King will be on the mound.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, what happens a lot with baseball is they play like
Every day?
like what they would call, I guess, a quote unquote series of games.
What does that mean?
You don't play like in the NFL. The Niners don't play the Seahawks 3 straight days. They play them one day.
Oh, so for series they play a team multiple times?
Or it'd be like if the Niners and Seahawks played Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Oh, that'd be
That would
tough.
be pretty crazy if they had to
Imagine
do
they
that.
played 4 straight games in the
That'd be
NFL.
crazy.
They're like, oh, we're dead.
Yeah. Now, every once in a while in the NFL, I always find this interesting, is like when the Niners will play the Seahawks like week 15 and 17. Like we didn't see each other, and then 2
Yeah.
out of 3 games, you'll face each other. That happens in the NFL.
It does happen. Yes,
Right.
John. Yes.
Do you like that?
I don't care.
Have teams ever played back-to-back in the NFL?
No.
Never, ever, ever.
I don't. Well,
It seems rare. It's very rare.
I think
to
it's
have it.
it's something that they try to avoid.
Playoffs, we see it. Like a week 17 matchup, then stumbles into a wild card matchup. You know, like Bengals Steelers becomes. Oh, we've seen that
yeah.
a lot of times.
Yeah. Not like a lot. But
Yes,
it,
a
it,
lot.
It could happen.
Yes.
A
So many
lot.
times every day. It's at least happens 6 times. All right, let's play.
Okay.
Yes, John, it did happen once in 1958. The Giants played the Browns in Week 12, and
Thank
then they
you.
played the following week in the championship.
I remember
game.
that.
It's a lot.
you.
I do too, just like it was yesterday.
Okay.
1958.
Yep. All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants, we have Nathan and we have Reggie. There we go. Nathan, you called in first, so you have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with today?
Either one.
You have to pick
one of them.
Okay, so yeah, John or Jim, who do you think?
Jim.
All
Wow.
right, there we go, Nathan.
Okay.
Reggie, that means you get John as your partner, okay?
Let's go, John.
Let's
All
do it,
right.
Reggie.
All right, Brent, what's today's question of the day?
All right, guys. Last night, the Joker picked up his 17th career playoff triple-double last night against the Lakers. Did you know that there are 7 other players with at least 10 playoff triple-doubles? Today's question, name any of those 7 NBA players with at least 10 or more triple-doubles in the playoffs.
Oh. Okay. Reggie, you're up first. What's your first guess? And you do have your lifeline, which is John, if you want to use it.
All right. I'm going to go with LeBron James, the GOAT.
That's a very good
LeBron
guess.
James.
On the list.
On the list. Nathan, you're up next. What is your first guess? You do have your lifeline if you choose to use it.
Ooh. Jerry West.
Jerry West on the list.
I let you guess, but no.
Not on the list. Reggie, you're up next. What's your second guess? You do have your lifeline if you want to use it.
All right. I'm going to go with the triple-double king himself, Russell Westbrook.
Wow. I love that guess.
Let's go!
Well done.
Nathan, you need this to stay in the game here. What's your second guess?
Do you have a lifeline?
You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Mr. NBA Jim,
I'll take the lifeline.
who gets about 30% of these right.
All right. I have 2 guesses here.
No, you have one.
No, but I'm trying to decide which one I want to go with. I'm just gonna hopefully go with the safe bet here and go Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Do you take that? You can have a guess if you want to, So
We'll go. Yeah, we'll go Chamberlain.
Oh my gosh, Jim, your percentage drops to 25% in NBA
was
trivia.
Magic on the list?
Dude.
Yeah, Magic's number
Oh,
1.
of course he is. You know who I would have said?
I'm such an idiot.
I would have said Magic.
Why did I say Magic Johnson?
Because that was a guarantee.
That was
Played
my
100 playoff games.
I know. I was like, oh, Wilt Chamberlain. He's got at least a couple triple doubles in
This
there.
is over, by the way, right?
It's,
Reggie
it's,
wins.
it's way over. Reggie
Thanks,
won.
Jim. You just ruined.
I ruined
You
Nathan's,
ruined
whole
Nathan's
day.
maybe week, potentially year.
Probably.
Because if he wants to see the Seals this weekend and go there free, you just took away that opportunity.
I don't know if this makes it worse, but Wilt had 9.
Oh.
Well, at least he
Can I
had
give
So
you a
he was off
name?
by 1. You can give me
Yeah,
all the names you want, John.
Jason Kidd.
Yeah, that would be correct.
Boom. Mr. Triple Double.
Uh,
No, you're probably you're not gonna get it right. Jim's gonna be like Steph Curry. No, 0.
There's only 3 left.
Are they
Oh, what
current?
about Kareem?
Are they current
No,
or
Kareem.
Bill Russell.
past?
One of them is still in the league. One of them is fairly current. Another one was from the 80s.
Luca.
No. One of them Jim should know.
That means a
a
warrior.
warrior.
Yes, it is.
Oh, Draymond?
Yes.
What?
Oh my
Draymond's got
gosh.
10.
Oh, I'm
This
such
makes
an
it so much
idiot.
worse.
All right.
All right, who's on this
All right.
list?
Magic is number 1. He had 30
So
playoff
stupid.
triple
30
doubles.
is crazy.
30.
He said Wilt
Uh,
Chamberlain.
LeBron is number 2. He's got
Was he a big
28.
passer?
I the blocks, bro.
10?
Yes.
That's a big number.
That's a lot of
dude.
blocks, dude. The Joker is 3rd. He's got 17. Westbrook's got 12. Then Jason Kidd with 11. And then Draymond, Rajon Rondo,
Dude.
I
and
passed.
Larry Legend, Larry Bird all had 10.
I
Hold
passed
on.
on Magic
Real quick,
Johnson. That was
and
my first. That was
we're
like
gonna be
Magic or
late here.
Wilt.
We got David J. Mad Friars on the other side, but real quick, Mr. Hey Wilt with his 10 blocks. I'm just looking at his how many blocks per game did Wilt average? I wish I could find that quick. Well, we'll look at
Not
it.
even a stat that was kept in the,
Yeah, I think
60s.
so.
Honestly, I don't think it was.
It may not
Oh
have been
because
it may
it's
not have
not it's
been.
not showing up in his thing.
Yeah, and I don't remember him having a lot of 10 assist games. All right, on the other side, David J. from Mad Friars taking a look at this Padres system and the state of the team 25 games into the year. getting set for the Rockies tonight in Denver. David J., great resource for Padres fans from Mad Friars, will join us next.
All right, this update is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Padres Rockies, game 2 of their 4-game series. Later this afternoon, about 40 minutes, first pitch in Colorado. Michael King on the mound for the Padres, and NBA playoffs underway, happening right now. Minnesota has a 12-5 lead over the Phoenix Suns with about 6 minutes left in the first quarter there. The Timberwolves have a 1-0 series lead. Other games happening today. We have the Bucks taking on the Pacers, 5:30 tip-off time in Milwaukee. And Clippers Mavericks, game 2 of that series at Crypto in LA. Tip-off time is at 7 p.m. Lakers are in an 0-2 hole after losing last night to the Nuggets. Game 3 of that series is on Thursday in LA, 7 p.m. You can listen to that right here on San Diego Sports 760. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of Jon and Jim with you until 6 p.m. Getting you ready for Padres and Rockies tonight, game 2. Jim's back page is still ahead. It is always great to connect. It's our pleasure to connect with David J. from Mad Friars, madfriars.com. Such an amazing resource for Padres fans and fans that are interested in Padres prospects, the farm system, and, of course, the Major League Club as well. So, David, we appreciate you joining us once again on Jon and Jim. I have a pretty good feeling what you're going to say here, but I'll ask it anyway. It's not time to panic, obviously, on Ethan Salas, right? 55 plate appearances, 222 in Fort Wayne, 657 OPS. It's only been 12 games. Talk me off a proverbial ledge on the slow start, the perceived slow start from a numbers perspective for Ethan Salas.
Yeah, I don't think you have to climb out on the ledge just yet, Jon. But I also think you can't completely ignore not just what's happened now, but his tenure in Fort Wayne last year and the brief pop up into San Antonio. The kid's 17. If instead of going back into Venezuela and then the Dominican to be eligible to sign through the international market, he'd be in this year's, potentially this year's draft class, maybe even next year's draft class. So, what he's doing at this age is certainly still pretty close to unprecedented. And, catchers in April in the Midwest League, that's a lot to ask of anybody. So certainly don't want to panic about it. But you do want to start to see him, this last week he had 3 doubles. He had more walks than strikeouts. So something Ben called out in our weekly system roundup this morning. So, you can see some good signs, but you'd like to see some more consistent production from him as things warm up and they potentially get through a week without a rain out.
So it's probably safe to say, because a lot of talk at the beginning of the season is, man, Ethan Salas, he could probably make it to the big league level this year. Oh my gosh. So we can probably say that's safely not going to happen, and then that everyone should calm down and let him just develop at his own pace in the minors.
Yeah, I don't know that there was a lot of informed
Right. That's
version of that being said this spring, but there was some noise out there. I think we can safely all just let the 17-year-old be the youngest guy in the high A circuit. If he'd gone back to Elsinore, he'd have been the youngest player on the low A circuit. So we can give him a few minutes here.
Makes sense. David J. Matt Friars with us right now on Jon and Jim. Speaking of young, highly touted prospects, and correct me if I'm wrong, is Leo DeVries supposed to make his full season professional debut? Is it today? Or is it this week?
Yeah, tonight,
Tonight
with the storm up in Rancho Cucamonga, right? So it's just like the signing class at the start of 2023. DeVries was pretty widely top guy in this year's class, and came over was in Peoria for spring training once he got all the visa stuff cleared. Got a chance to get to that game, but really got the chance to settle in. They've been incredibly aggressive with guys. They have top end talent. He doesn't have the same complications of dealing with catching that Salas did last year, and so they are sending him out to Lake Elsinore. And he's not the only guy going out there from extended. JD Gonzalez, who was their second overall pick last year, catcher out of Puerto Rico, who was also one of the youngest guys in his draft class, is also headed to join the Storm, which pretty quickly becomes one of the more interesting squads in the Cal League and certainly in the organization with Dylan Head up there as well.
And looking at San Antonio now, because there's levels here, like they've had the pitching prospects that Padres fans know very well, Snelling and Mazer. How have they performed so far, and what other prospects pitching wise at San Antonio should Padres fans keep an eye out on?
Yeah, well, Mazer's off to just an absolutely stellar start. He's made 3 starts. He's given up 1 earned run across 16 innings. He's really cut his walks. I think we had it in the system wrap up this morning. I think he's like 17 strikeouts and 2 walks so far. So really a great start. He's a guy who came out of college as their second round pick in 2022, which continues to shape up as just an absolutely great draft class. The arm they took immediately before him in that draft in the compensation round was Robbie Snelling, who they took out of high school up in the Reno area, and just absolutely blitzed the minors last year. Robbie's also off to a strong start. He's had a little bit of trouble with command more than control. That's led to some walks through his first 3 outings. But, again, off to a solid start and just not getting – batters just aren't getting hits against him in the Texas League, which is certainly a good sign. But like you mentioned, the entire starting staff down there really has a bunch of interesting guys. Austin Krob is an older lefty who worked at both the single-A levels last year. Came out of college down in Texas and had dealt with some injuries and the 2020 year and all the rest. So he is a little bit older for the experience he's had, but he looks pretty interesting. Ryan Bergert is another arm who I think a decent number of fans are familiar with. Righty, who's now almost 3 years post-surgery, has a really lively fastball that rises to the top of the zone, and he's landing his breaking balls a lot better so far this year. And then Victor Lizarraga is a guy who I think kind of dropped off the radar for a lot of folks last year. He's actually a San Diego Tijuana binational native, and he had a couple of viruses last year and lost weight and never really got his feet under him until the end of the year. He's now out with the Missions as well at AA in San Antonio, and he's just getting ramped up for the year. But I think he's a guy who could get back onto people's radar pretty quickly here.
David J. Matt Fryer's with us right now on Jon and Jim. There's a position player in AA I wanted to ask you about, 23-year-old Nathan Martorella.
Yeah.
Who's seemingly, you tell me, I mean, college guy, fairly high pick, 5th rounder. It seems like he's hit. Again, he's not the youngest kid because he played at Cal, but his OPS numbers have been good, specifically for minor league baseball. He's a left-handed bat. What are his prospects looking like in the organization, this year and beyond?
Yeah, well, so Martorell is a first baseman, like you said, came out of a strong Cal program. The offensive bar for prospects at first base is obviously quite high, but he's shown the ability both to, like you said, make a lot of contact, make good swing decisions. His slugging percentage this year is on paper looks pretty good, a lot of that damage he did at Amarillo, which is just an absolute bandbox of a ballpark. So I think the primary question you're going to see people have about him is, is he able to put up the sort of power production that you would expect from a first baseman? The organization played around with him doing some work in the outfield last year. I don't know that that's a viable option at the big league level, but he definitely, when we saw him this spring, has thinned out and gotten some more agility around the bag first base, and I think is now a viable defender at first base. And so, that'll be the piece that he needs to work on. His numbers may be masked a little bit playing for the Missions, just because their home field, Wolf Stadium, is kind of a brutal place for left-handed power hitters. So you'll want to be looking more for exit velocity numbers and that sort of thing than necessarily the raw baseball card numbers, I think.
What have you made of Jackson Merrill starts of the year? Surprised by it? Not surprised by it? Well, what do you make of it?
Well, I was pretty adamant that I wouldn't have started him in the big leagues, and clearly he's made them look good so far. I think what he's doing defensively is really remarkable. Obviously we knew he had the athleticism to do it, but the way he's made reads in the outfield for a guy who literally had never played anywhere but shortstop until 9 months ago is to me really impressive. I think at the plate, the question now is, as the league starts to get a book on him, is he going to be able to make the adjustment? I think we're going to see a lot of teams really try and bust him in with hard stuff. And the question is whether he's going to be able to make the adjustment to make that work. Certainly, though, you'd be hard pressed to have hoped for anything better than what you've gotten out of him in the early going of this year.
It's been very impressive. We'll see if he can keep it up. David, final one for me is just about what you've seen at the big league level from this team. 25 games in, they're 13-12. A year ago, they were 12-13, very comparable, but it seems like it's different the way they've gotten to this spot, dealing with adversity, overcoming deficits. They've been somewhat pesky, I would say, this first month or so of the season. What are your impressions of the Padres through 25 games?
I think that summarizes it pretty well. I think they're a club that has shown life and fight. When you look at where they are compared to some other teams, obviously not having Manny playing third base is a loss, and now with Darvish on the IL, that hurts. But they haven't had the same level of injury and adversity that other clubs already have, and that you would expect at some point they will face. And so, the question really then becomes, do they have enough both fortitude and depth to be able to, make it work when they do hit a major hurdle?
David J, madfriars.com, 20 plus years of covering San Diego Padres and its system. Great resource for Padres fans. David, we always appreciate you hopping on, so thank you for doing it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to talk with you guys.
Great to talk to you. All right, David J, good insight from what's going on. I mean, Ethan Salas is 12 games. I mean, that's so small. Like, we're talking about Maroff 24, something like that. So it's only half the number of games. So 222 and 45 ABs, 55 plate appearances is small. I mean, he's got a chance to play 110 games or something. So it's maybe 10% of his season, and he's 17 years of age. You can't put everything in the world into 12 games is my point.
No, it's not. I feel like it shouldn't be viewed as something, but it also shouldn't be viewed as nothing either. Yeah. Like it's in between, however you want to describe it. And while you want to see Ethan Salas perform and you want to see Ethan Salas put up some big time numbers down in the minor leagues, right? I also do think this might be like kind of one of those realizations to people out there that might have said Ethan Salas could be at the big league level this maybe as soon as this season, to also realize, okay, look, this guy's 17 years old. He's going to have to go through some struggles here, or he's just going to go through struggles in general. And it's about how he manages those struggles and what he does on the other side before he gets to the big league level. Let's slow it down. Let's make sure that he develops right. There's no need to rush him right now because They have it covered at the big league level with Campy and Higgy.
Yeah.
And Sully. So let him develop at his own pace.
The one thing,
the talent's definitely there.
Here's what I would do. And they won't do what I would do, in my opinion. I would leave him there all year regardless.
All year.
Doesn't matter to me. Tearing the cover off the ball, stay. Not hitting, stay. Give them continuity. Yeah. Same teammates, by and large, guys come up and down. Same coaching staff. And just have a normal minor league year. You don't always have to be on the or something. Turn 18 this season. To your point, there's nowhere to. If your only goal is to get to the big leagues this year, you're not getting there. Just put together a full season. Hopefully, it's productive. And next year, you can start the year in AA. And then you're within arm's reach. And if you want to get cute at the end of next year when he's 19, and you want to put him up in September because he put together a good year. All right, now you've had 3 full minor league seasons, 2023, 2024, and 2025. To do anything other than that, I don't know what the right word would be. It's too aggressive. Not malpractice. No, it's probably not.
Lower than that?
No, because I don't know. I don't know what it means. I can't guarantee if they do something, it'll set them back. But I just wouldn't do it is my point.
And Jackson Merrill's proving them right now.
Right.
Giving them good equity. And if Jackson Merrill continues to do this, and if he, at the end of the year, we look up and he's one of the top rookies in baseball, then you know what this organization has gained? They have gained credibility with what they're doing with their minor league system. And then they can go and they have some equity here. Like, look, we knew what we were doing with Jackson Merrill. He developed and he turned out to be a pretty damn good rookie, right? So we also, whatever moves we make with whatever player down in the minor league system, we have equity here because look what we did with Jackson. So we also, feel like we know what we're doing with these guys as well.
Well, remember we had this conversation.
Not everyone's going to work out. Not every player is going to work out.
No, but
you need some to.
And also some of these guys that you're so invested heavily in internationally, and you're giving up like your entire pool for the year in one player. Right. That's not the player to miss on. I mean, this is the player you're saying is the can't miss. You shouldn't miss on can't miss. Now, remember we were also told this, that guys like DeVries, I thought it was DeVries, but it's DeVries, whatever.
DeVries? Yeah.
Guys like DeVries and Salas, we were almost led to believe that Preller's almost selling this idea in the international market that with us, we'll get you there sooner. We can get you to the big league sooner than the Texas Rangers, right? It's an open market. It's not a draft. It's an open market. Right. But we'll see if that's prudent, to everyone's point, as in, if they are getting you there sooner, are you developed and are you capable of producing? And is it setting you back? Now, DeVries is going to debut tonight in low A as a 17-year-old. It's not unheard of at all. It happens.
Yeah.
Now, Salas was even more aggressive. It was 16, right? So he's sped up a calendar year. It is almost like David said. It's almost unprecedented what they're doing with Ethan Salas. But you could argue other organizations don't have DeVries in full season baseball this year, don't have Salas in full season baseball last year, but that's not the Padres MO right now.
No.
And maybe that's how they're landing some of these prize prospects. I don't know.
And they spend a lot on these guys in the international market. So to be able to hit on both of them would be very beneficial to the resources that they used on these two guys. But I think if you told me right now, if just one of them hits, I think we would take it.
It depends on your definition of hits. Yeah, if you have a 6-time All-Star of those two, I would take it.
If one of them fails and one of them succeeds, is what I'm trying to say.
That's a great question.
Would you take that right now? I think I would.
If the level of success was really significant, like I think my threshold is like a 6-time All-Star. I mean, because if you get, if one of these two guys is
Tatis.
A 2-time All-Star, Tatis, of course. Because I think Tatis is a 6-time All-Star. Beyond, I think he's an MVP.
Okay, maybe a little below Tatis.
So, if you guaranteed me, again, a 10-year everyday player for the Padres, or a 6+ year, I can't guarantee what happens with free agency.
Right.
But 6+ year starter, and he makes a handful or a few
one
All-Star
or two
games,
All-Star teams,
then I think I would have to, don't you? Because the alternative is, what if neither hit?
Then that's a problem,
right?
Because you use so much of your international money on two guys.
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
And that's goes back to the Adrian Morejon discussion. They use that's why probably he's been around for so long, is because they trying to make this guy hit
so much money
because they spent so much money on him.
Yep. It's like it almost has to work.
And he's done fine this year in a small sample size, only I think 4 1/3 innings pitched so far.
Right.
But I think I would take that too. I think if you told me right now, just I'm not going to tell you who it is, but of DeVries and Salas, one of them hits 6 years minimum here, couple All-Star game, a couple All-Star teams. I think I might take it.
But hear me out for 1 second. To play devil's advocate, and I agree, but now I'm changing my tune. If someone told me, I mean, Salas is sold like the Beatles in this organization.
He's like Johnny Bench, Pudge Rodriguez, Buster Posey in a one.
Right. With whatever Piazza in there.
Right,
So offensively, right?
right.
So hear me out. That's how he's sold. And if we look up, the year is what, 2024. If we looked up in 2032, it's a lot of time. Mark this Brentford's
we
2032
probably won't be here.
open. We'll see. But if I told you in 2032, Ethan Salas was a 2-time All-Star for the San Diego Padres in his 7 years, and then they traded him to the Cardinals. And then Leo DeVries hit 190 in 91 games.
Probably disappointment then.
Yeah, be like, wait, he's a 2-time All-Star. Like this guy was supposed to be like one of the best players in the history of the franchise.
Right.
So when you put it, that's why I'm like 6-time. I need a 6-time All-Star. I don't need a first ballot Hall of Fame. I mean, come on, that's crazy talk.
Okay, I got you, and that makes perfect sense, and I'm with you there because you're right. Anybody can make an All-Star game 1 year and then go to relevant.
Would you take Jake Cronenworth as Ethan Salas, as in like 5 years from now, all Cronenworth did with those 2 All-Star teams? He was like a mediocre player.
Yeah, you're right.
No, you want more than that out of Ethan Salas.
You're right. Yeah, I think I would.
Maybe a 4-time All-Star.
I would need like one of the best players at your position
for like a 5-year period.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
On the other side, a proposal to change Group of 5 football.
Oh, perfect. Here we go.
That includes, of course, San Diego State. Are you in favor or not? Plus Jim's back page. We're getting you ready for Padres and Rockies as well. Stay with us. All right, a proposal to change the future of Group of 5 football. Plus, we're getting you ready for Padres and Rockies. Stay with us.
All right, this update is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Padres and Rockies, game 2 of their 4-game series. Moments away from first pitch in Colorado. Michael King on the mound for the Padres. NBA playoffs underway. The Timberwolves and Suns, game 2 of that series. Suns lead the Timberwolves 36-31 with about 7 minutes left to go in the second quarter there. Pacers Bucks, moments away from tip-off in Milwaukee. And Clippers Mavericks, game 2 of that series, tips off tonight at 7 p.m. Kawhi will play in game 2 for the Clippers. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Stay connected with San Diego Sports 760 no matter where you are, whether you're stepping out of your car or settling in at home. Just command your Google or Alexa smart speaker to play AM 760 or use the free iHeartRadio app for seamless listening. It's like having your favorite station right in your pocket. It's not like that. It is that.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It's 100% like that.
I love the app.
The
Now,
app
I'll
is
be
great.
honest, I'm not really a smart speaker guy because I just haven't really used them because I love using my phone as like an audio device. I use the app all the time.
I probably should more. I have an Alexa.
Oh, do you?
I haven't set it up, but like I have one. I used to do it all the time, but now I don't, and I should. So I can just say, "Hey Alexa, play San Diego Sports 760,"
Yeah, exactly.
and it says,
Okay.
"Okay, playing San Diego Sports 760."
You should do that.
You should do it too.
Aaron's like,
It
hey,
sounded
will
just like her.
you help me get ready for the wedding? No, I'm talking to Alexa.
Dude, this wedding, bro.
Who's Alexa? You haven't told me about her.
I'm telling you during the break. This wedding.
This is every wedding.
Here's the thing.
Money.
Don't have a wedding, everybody.
Okay, you're about to say don't get married.
No. Don't have a wedding.
They're not. It's not cheap.
No, it's not. It's not cheap, and I feel bad because I want Aaron to be, the grooms. Right? We're just like, hey,
Whatever.
tell us where the wedding's at. We'll show up. Like zero stress on our backs.
But she's like, oh, this flower petal was like repositioned improperly, and it's ruined my wedding. Like everything's got to be perfect.
Yeah, now. Thankfully, we got it today, but little things like the wedding a stand for our sign for when you walk into
right,
the wedding.
This is like the Russell wedding or something.
We've been waiting for that for about 2 months, and it finally came today. But that was a stressful thing to have to wait for.
Mm-hmm.
Her slippers for her bridesmaids was a stressful thing. The jewelry for the wedding was a stressful thing.
Dude, the wedding is stressful.
Her reception dress, not her wedding dress, but her reception dress is a stressful thing.
She can't go jeans.
But the most stressful thing of all has been room blocks for all of our guests. Man, I did not.
Yeah, why are
realize-
you like DMing me like, yo, do you need a room? I'm like, no, I live a mile away.
I know, because that was what Aaron wanted me to ask. Aaron's like, hey, you need to ask everybody if they need rooms for the wedding.
I love how you asked Kristen, not me, by the way.
100%.
Because you know I'm not doing anything about it.
No, you just said
no one asked me.
Yeah, are you looking
Brent.
for a room?
no,
No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
It was funny because she did say, can you ask Brent? I literally laughed. I laughed
Brent,
in her
you
face.
want the $529 room rate plus tax?
No.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
I think the Uber will be
Yeah,
cheaper
exactly.
than
The
that.
30
so-
buck Uber is probably better than the
right.
566 rate.
Yeah. So, and I don't blame Aaron for any of this. I think the hotels make it extremely confusing. Like if you have a room block, then
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
then like when
Dude,
you
if I could stay at a Wendy's, I'd do that.
Yeah.
like if all the rooms aren't booked, then the rooms that aren't booked should just like all of a sudden just, hey, we're going to give them to other people and give them to the general public. So you lose those
You mean
room blocks.
resell them?
Resell them. We get those rooms for the back to the general public. But instead, they're like, when you book the room block, you have to book at least 90%, or guess what? You pay for everything. And so we thought, of course everybody will get these room blocks. And not everybody has gotten these room blocks.
You don't seem upset about it or anything.
I'm just like, here's the thing. I'm very go with the flow with this wedding.
Yes, you are.
But I see the stress that it's causing on my future wife. And I don't want that stress for her. I want her to go to this wedding and not be worried about like, oh my gosh, the room blocks. Like, you know, it's
Guess
just,
what? She's going to be
It's
super
only going to
stressed.
get worse.
It's only
I
getting
know,
worse. It's only
I
going to get worse.
know, but
And by the way, you need to tell me what I need to do to officiate. And I better not get like it better not be a LeBron James situation where he's calling out the officials.
what do you mean? I'm gonna call it you?
Exactly. Because
Like,
I'm officiating.
this officiant was
It's
horrible.
terrible.
You know, officiants actually cost a lot of money. So thanks, buddy.
Perfect. I'll bill you. You'll get
No,
an
you
invoice.
won't.
You'll get an invoice.
I'll give you like a tofu salad or something.
Perfect. All right. Let's talk about the group of five for a second.
Oh, perfect.
Just hear me out.
It's all you, buddy.
I'll explain. You have to listen. There's a playoff coming this year, right? Where one of the teams in the playoff comes to the playoff. Right? Everyone understands that. The highest ranked group of five champion is in the playoff. There's this proposal out there that's backed by private equity. It's like a new catchphrase in college athletics. To make a group of five playoff to get into the playoff. A playoff to get into the playoff. You heard me right. So, I mean, unless I'm missing something, I'm not in favor of it. There would be an 8-team group of five playoff at the end of the year. And the winner of the 8-team group of five playoff is in the playoff.
Huh?
Exactly. You're not listening. But
No, there's a playoff for the
to get
playoff.
to that doesn't make any sense. It's hard enough to win in the group of five. This idea, because it's backed by private equity, is you can have a TV deal. You can have an 8-team group of five playoff, and people would be interested in watching. And that's probably true. You could have Liberty play San Diego State and Boise State play Coastal Carolina, and people would be watching and people would be making more money. But 8 teams to then whittle down to 1 to then get into a 14-team playoff. So the group of 5 teams got to play like 7 or 8 playoff games to win a national championship. Like, that's ridiculous. To me. Why do we have to have an unfair playing field? What is the SEC and the Big Ten so worried about? Is it that hard to give up one spot at the table? Are you really that concerned that Boise State's going to go to Athens, Georgia, and then beat Michigan, and then beat Alabama, and then beat whomever? Just let them in. What's so hard about it? Jim?
You done?
This is more frustrating than your wedding.
Sounds like it. Sounds like it's very frustrating.
Fair. I mean, again, unless I'm missing something, I don't understand a playoff to get into a playoff. Like, I think of a sport. Like, I'm trying to think of a sport like play-in tournament.
Yeah, NBA.
But you don't have to play like 4 series to get to the first series.
We get to play 2 at least for if you're a 9 or a
But you
10
could play
seed.
out of the play-in just by having a good regular season year, where the group of 5 teams couldn't play into the top playoff. They'd have to win the playoff to get into the playoff. Right?
This is that thing that I always bring up to where it's college basketball and college football are like the complete polar opposites when it comes to this. College basketball embraces the underdog. They embrace the mid-major. You know, come tournament time, they can't get enough mid-majors in there because, you know, everyone loves the Cinderella and they embrace it and they're all about it. College football is the exact opposite. They do everything in their power to anytime, you know, they're not mid-majors in football, but anytime a group of 5 starts to come up and look like they might do something in the future, they're there right away to smack them back down and be like, no, you're not Florida State, you're not the Gators, you know, you're not Alabama, you're not allowed to do that. So we're gonna smack you back down there and just leave you there because we don't want any underdogs, we don't want any of that. We just want our core, you know, 20 blue blood programs, and that's it.
Maybe it's just like I have the DNA that I don't like when like we put people and then in turn like sports in like a box that you can't get out of. Like, no, stay there. Like we don't do that in the NFL. We don't say, hey, Jaguars, you can't win. They can. It's on them to win. We don't say in the NBA, hey, Pelicans, get out of the way. I mean, the Bucks have won titles in Milwaukee. Green Bay's been good in football, but for whatever reason, they're like, everyone wants to keep everyone in their place in college athletics because I don't know what they're fearful of. I really don't. What can't it just be equal? I mean, isn't that just what's right and fair? But for whatever reason, the SEC and Big Ten, they got to keep getting richer. They got to keep having more of the seat at the table. You already have the table. You can't give up one seat at the largest table. You can give up one seat.
This is so unfair. I'm outraged.
This is like your room block situation, but worse.
Way worse, apparently.
I mean, you're screaming about room blocks. I'm screaming about playoffs. I'm
screaming about actual like money coming out of our pocket, my pocket, and you're like, "What the heck is college football doing?"
I know.
Those losers, idiots.
Anyway, I mean, it's probably just me. It's me on a soapbox. It's not just me, but I just wanted to voice it for 3 or 4 minutes, just like you wanted to voice how I need to buy your $5.99 room rate.
I never said that. I just asked politely if you could.
Hey, are you guys? It's gonna be dark. Yeah, what if it's cold?
Do you want to buy a room block and stay the night in San Diego and you already live here?
No, I already played this game with my wedding. I know how stressful it is. I want to make your wedding more stressful. Just kidding. I think it's gonna be great.
Hopefully.
It's not like you're getting married during like Padres Yankees Memorial Day weekend. Like all eyes on that. And
yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's okay.
Jim's back page. It's next. All right. I know what you're thinking. You're on the go. You're heading home. You're picking up dinner. You're on the go all day, right? You're dropping off your kids. You're leaving work. You're always on the go. And it's hard to eat healthy. It's hard not to be starving when you're on the go. A game changer for me has been these Almond RX packs I've been telling you about. It's going to make you healthier. It's going to eliminate the vending machine from your day. You're going to get your immunity boost with the almonds. You're getting your daily dose of vitamin D. Everyone loves a healthy snack, but even better than being just healthy, it's tasty. And it curbs hunger. And look no further than Almond RX, the first and only skinless almond with vitamin D. You're getting your daily serving of 23 almonds. This company was founded by a San Diego sports medicine physician, and a very good one, I should add. Almond RX is packed with a powerhouse of nutrients, supporting your heart health, your cellular health, and your gut health. You can find Almond RX packs at any Foodland right here in San Diego, Harvest Ranch at Encinitas, or at almondrx.com. That's ALMONDRX.com. Go there right now. You'll get free shipping on your orders of $25 or more. That's right. AlmondRx.com. Free shipping on orders of $25 or more. Almond RX curbs hunger and is perfect for the on-the-go lifestyle. 24th consecutive game. If it's not a major league record, it's darn close.
Pretty close.
The Padres.
Who's the culprit of the Padres run?
Well, Fernando
Was that a
Tatis
Jake-
Jr. has scored it.
Is that a Jake Cronenworth single? Yes, it was.
Yes. So the Padres lead 1-0 in the first inning in Denver. There is nobody out.
There's
They
a
have
Chrome
men on
zone
the
single.
corners.
Crone's on some love.
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
let's show him some love.
So Crone's on some love.
So is that not amazing? You think you would stumble into a game, you just kind of win? You could take a lead and you just win the game. Thankfully, it's not happening so far for the Rockies, who now trail 2-0 on a sac fly. Proe coming through. Hey, who needs Manny? The Padres will, but so far so good in this series. They win yesterday 3-1. They lead right now in the first inning, top of the first inning in Denver, in front of a massive crowd, 2-0.
Take care of business here. And come Friday or come Thursday afternoon, when we'll be wrapping up the entire series,
could be a good week.
Could be a very good week for the Pods.
Still a lot of baseball.
Could be a very good week for the Drays, John.
Could.
The Drays.
The dads.
The daddies.
If you will.
The fathers.
Shut up, yeah, shut up. 760 chances free to win bonus bucks. You up $1,000 every day this week. Listen for the keyword and enter it at sportssd.com. Now let's get to this.
I might just leave the show for this one right here. Would you want to earn, I'm talking to Brent, $1,000 for watching Star Wars?
Okay, you're gonna leave the show for $1,000
for like a day.
What's the catch?
Here's the catch. All right. Announced yesterday, you can be offered a single candidate to watch Star Wars films for $1,000. Here is the catch. The job description says they only want a candidate with, quote, fresh Padawan eyes, whose opinions and ratings will be used for an upcoming article. Stating in chronological order, you'll make your way from episode, what is it? Yeah, 4, A New Hope.
So it's like they're looking for me.
All the way to Rise of Skywalker.
Someone that's never seen it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's me.
I know.
I'll give him a fresh perspective. I'll give him my thoughts.
The chosen candidate, or quote, Wookiee rookie, will be tasked with watching all 9 films within a week. Likely sometime in late May.
You wouldn't be able to do that.
That's child labor. $1,000 to watch 1,000 hours of films?
Yeah, they want somebody who has never seen Star Wars before.
I'll do it. Submit me, seriously.
Yeah.
I haven't watched for 1 second. Other than you made me watch some Disney Plus thing.
Yeah. In return, you will get paid $1,000 plus another $100 for any related expenses, such as food. This is funny. Blue milk or streaming service fees. The deadline to apply is May the 4th. Shocker. Applicants must be 18 or older and live in the United States. We are signing John up.
Yeah, seriously. Can you please sign me up?
And then you're giving us all
put me in a padded wall room.
A padded room?
Because first of all, I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to understand it, even if I start from the top, right?
No, if you pay attention, you will.
Okay.
If you just sit in there and pout and complain because you have to watch Star Wars, and
what's this faraway galaxy talk?
This is stupid. So you want to do that?
Who's this robot dude?
They're droids.
Droids.
That's your first Star Wars lesson. They're not robots. They're droids.
What do you mean I'm your father, Luke?
But not the droids you're looking for.
Okay.
SeaWorld San Diego, John, is celebrating Military Appreciation Month with an exclusive deal. Veterans have until May 12th to register for free tickets, which they must be used by July 7th. So if you're in the military or active duty members, you can get free tickets to SeaWorld coming up here until May 12th.
I'm texting Darnay Trip.
What is he texting you?
Well, I guess we can talk about it. I think we can. He's interviewing for NBC7 Nick Boyd, the FAU transfer. And I thought about DMing him each of the last 2 days, but I haven't. Let me tell you why. Today was his birthday. I didn't want to be the guy. I don't know if
Darnay was the guy
to reach out on his birthday. Like, hey, will you come on the show?
So he's the guy. He was the guy that
maybe he reached out yesterday, which wasn't his birthday, and set something up for today. But I need to hear this interview.
Do you need to hear more than my final story on the back page?
100%. But let me hear your final story on the back page.
Do you want to know how much a Mario Bros Super Mario Bros. Video game rated at a 9.5 went on a sold auction.
What do
here.
you mean rated 9.5? You mean the condition of like the cartridge?
The original Super Mario Bros. Video game for Nintendo.
Yeah, I have that.
It's in its original packaging. It was graded at a 9.6.
Okay.
All right. 1985. Guess what it sold for?
$2,000.
$19,400.
$2 million.
Come on, that's more than the Jordan sneakers from '84.
$2 million
Just for not opening that. I had that game.
Here is the top
Zelda.
Here's the top 10 video games sold. Okay. And their ranking and their ratings. All right. Number 1, 1985 Super Mario Bros. Sold for $2 million.
Okay.
Number 2, 1996 N64 Super Mario 64, graded at a 9.8, $1.5 million. 1987 The Legend of Zelda, graded at a
Great
9,
game.
$870,000. 1996 N64 Super Mario 64, graded also at a 9.8, went for $799,000. Running the top 5 in 1985 Super Mario game rated at 9.6, sold for $720,000.
Oh, it's too bad the show has to come to an end. I wanted to hear more.
Moral of the
I
story:
want to see the top
you
100.
buy a video game and never open it, but you can't really do that now because everything's downloadable.
By the way, tomorrow's a day in front of the NFL draft first round, and Emery Hunt, great draft analyst, will join us tomorrow at 3:30. You can hear the first round of the NFL draft right here on San Diego Sports 760 Thursday at 5. All right. If you missed anything, sportsst.com, iHeartRadio app, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, for Brett and Jim. I'm John. Keep it right here at San Diego Sports 760. Peace out. Bye.